continuing every day at 8:30 a.m. Pacific and 5 p.m. Pacific. And we're going to continue doing them. We've got about 15 facilitators here at the Mystic Manor. And we've thoroughly been enjoying it. It's a great pivot in these quarantine-like times. And
it's been such a fun outlet for everybody here to express their own magic and their own talents. And like one of the things that's been floating around the house ever since the beginning of its inception is Be Your Magic.
Yep.
And so it's so fun to actually have like this platform and this stage for everyone to share their magic with you guys.
Music inside of me says, hey guys.
Hey guys. Inside of me.
Hello.
Hello.
So what we're doing is we've decided, because of these online retreats and play shops, to start releasing Optimystic, the show, every other Sunday, so that we can make more time for doing this sort of thing. And you can learn more about the play shops and online retreats, and there's a bunch of offerings at optimystic.tv, and just at the top you'll see online play shops, and that'll tell you all the details about how to continue to follow this and be a part of it and co-create it with us, and of course see every episode of Optimystic, the new late night style variety show that we've released 3 episodes so far. Matt Kahn was the most recent one. Lee Harris will be next week. And so, we're going to talk a little bit about that episode. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. Matt Kahn is incredible. And he went live yesterday on Facebook, and I saw there's like 50,000 people in it. He gets a lot of attention that's very due he's such an alien. So, we're going to talk a little bit about that. You guys feel free to shoot us any questions. Ian, our chef extraordinaire, is stepping in to help to steer the ship today with me and Everett, who is the co-creator and creative director of Optimystic. And start sending us any questions that you have. It can be about the show, or if you want to expand outside of that, we're happy to answer questions outside of that as well.
Alexa Hauser's in here.
What up, Alexa? Hi,
Hey
Alexa.
guys, miss you all.
Oh, we miss you too.
Miss you, Alexa.
Hasn't been so long since you've been sitting in this seat right here.
No. And Music Inside Me says, it's important to stay optimistic in these times. Or stay optimistic in these times.
Absolutely.
Amen.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
That's why
I
we're
got
here.
Music Inside Me tuned in on all the lives. I got him over here saying, I'm using this time to create too.
Yay! What are you
Nice.
creating?
What a great name.
What are you creating? Music Inside Me.
Maybe some music.
Maybe some
inside
music?
us.
What kind of music?
Paisley Rose says, hello, Mystic family.
Oh, hi Paisley
Hi,
Rose.
Mama.
Hey, Mom.
Hi, Paisley. All right, Ian.
You want to start with a few
Let's
questions?
start us off.
All right.
What do you got?
My first question. I really liked how Matt Kahn described the human experience as a spiritual vehicle, and all these signals we get from the body, specifically in this context, is like emotional signals. So my first question is, what emotional signals do you find yourself most often ignoring, and what would your life look like, and how would you be upgrading if you responded to those and took the time to really listen into those signals?
You're going deep.
Yeah,
really
right
quick.
out of the gate. You want to take that one first, Everett?
Yeah.
Before that, what?
Before that, my mom says, can we get some of Ian's recipes?
Ooh.
That'll be another play shop.
This is great to be interacting in ways outside of the kitchen, so it's nice to have a new environment.
He did make
Let me shine.
walnut. Was it walnut yogurt?
Yeah, I made a walnut hemp yogurt.
It was
This
really
morning.
good.
Wow,
too.
out of our quarantine supplies. That's
Yeah,
pretty good. That's really crafty.
That was good.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
Anna's back. Hi, Anna.
Yes, we said hi, Anna.
Taking this time in quarantine to upgrade my fermentation skills.
That was me.
Keep an eye out for me on the play shops. I'll do a little pickling, a little yogurt shop. It'll be great.
Cool.
Ian was listening to Positive Head years before we met, and had a whole transformation through Purium. So if you guys aren't familiar with Purium, we're big advocates of, they support it, have supported Optimystic as well as Positive Head, and you can learn more about Purium, the transformational food company, on Positive Head site. There's a whole Purium section. But yeah, Ian lost, how much did you lose?
70 pounds.
Wow.
70 pounds of Purium, so yeah.
Oh,
70 pounds of Purium?
I've got a comment and a question over here. Anna said, to answer a question, I would say my depression. I've been ignoring it, but I'm trying to change it through trying different things in my life and now creating my own songs. So things to try to distract me. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow, Anna.
Emotional signals.
That's beautiful.
Beautiful. And then Inner Essence has a question for you guys. What are your guys' favorite activities for play? Like dance, music, mastering a craft, art, etc.
Ooh. I'd love to answer that and also answer Ian's question too that he asked.
Right.
Just a little bit
about re-ask the question. It looks like we got a lot of new people.
Yeah, go for it.
So Matt Kahn described the human experience as a spiritual vehicle, and that we have a dashboard sending a bunch of emotional signals.
Okay.
So my question is, what signals do you find yourself most often ignoring, and how would your life look like if you took the time to respond to those accordingly?
So yeah, the thing that comes up for me as of late is I've really been aware of that concept as well, and that everything that kind of comes up in my body as a vehicle is really just an experience that my soul is meant to experience at the time, right? And so a lot of times, like any sort of emotion that's coming up will trigger some sort of emotion or feeling in my body, and then by being aware of that, I'm able to like fully like surrender that and accept that into my body and allow that to have its way and cycle itself through. So as of late, actually, one thing my soul has really been wanting to express itself more in art and create more in art, which kind of goes back to that question earlier. But for me, that outlet has been exploring tribal markers, actually.
Oh, yeah.
And so I got really addicted to tribal markers. Here, I'll show you guys. Here.
Ooh,
I'm like,
look at that.
Yeah.
These aren't tattoos.
And so this is not a tattoo, but these are water-based, non-toxic ink that's meant specifically for marking your body, like tribal, like with tribal symbols and things like that. And so for me, like my way of expressing art as of late has been just doodling on my arm, and it's been like this really, really fun like stream of consciousness to just get whatever is in here out tangibly. And so it's also fun too to just go and allow it to just be what it is. Because I'm quite literally like wearing my heart on my sleeve in a lot of ways. So it's like there's really nothing to hide, and it becomes a fun like explosion of art. So that's how it's been for me.
C Joy Vibrancy said that's so neat. Never heard of that.
Inner Essence says, I love your nail polish, by the way.
Awesome.
Thank you.
What I do to pass time creatively is my hippie fidget spinner, magic wand. Thank you, Tyler Dross. This is going to be like my new little prop on episodes of Optimistic. You guys, you always see like, you know, the late night style guy with his pen just sitting there flipping it. Well, I'm going to have a magic wand. So we're going to actually start having these on the site too, where people can order them. My idea is to, for every time you order one, then we give a second one to a sick child or something. So, you know, a child in a hospital, and imagine getting that when you're laying in a hospital bed and you now have your own little magic wand that you can...
Do you remember giving me one when we first met?
I do, yeah.
Well,
The first versions, like this is the upgraded new version here.
Yeah.
They're getting better, so...
Yeah,
Brendan has a way of...
I might have made it through high school if I had one of those.
Isn't it cool?
The ink is called tribal markers.
Tribal markers.
And we have is that an amethyst on the tip?
It is an amethyst on the tip.
Amethyst.
Very cool.
Yep. So, as far as the question earlier about listening to your emotions, what I'll notice is I can get in very much work mode where I'll be feeling sort of restless, and then I'll keep working through it. And I've found doing that is really counterproductive the hard way. And just taking a moment and getting outside and, you know, even if it's just going on a walk, just getting some sunshine, just doing some breath work for a few minutes, just switching up my state is a big one. So if you're feeling emotional triggers that are not necessarily positive emotions, people don't realize how easy it is to actually change that. It's really, you know, physiologically in your brain, you can change your state by changing your body, changing your activities. Just sunshine, just walking, just stretching. Putting your arms over your head for 2 minutes completely changes all the chemicals that are released in your brain. So this is something that Tony Robbins talks a lot about. You know, in this case, if you're having an emotional trigger that's not really good, just find a way to change your state. And it's, you know, go lay on the earth. instantly all kinds of things are happening physiologically. It's not just you laying on the earth. There's much more to it that's actually going on, and you'll see, wow, I feel so much better. Why is that? There's actually science behind it, so that's something that I would say.
Totally. CJ Vibrancy agrees. She says, same. Pause and reset yourself. A new segment of intention.
Exactly.
CJ Vibrancy, what's your first name so we can talk to you by first name?
Who else got questions?
My Paisley Rose said, I think I'd focus more on healthy eating, daily meditation, and making more time for creativity. I think that was answering the other question, which
Inner Essence asked earlier, which I can go back and ask. But CJ Vibrancy is named Christy. She's been on a lot of our live streams. Hi, Christy.
Hey,
Hi,
Christy.
Welcome back.
Abracadabra.
All right, I'm gonna bounce back to Inner Essence's question and re-ask it. Inner Essence asked, what are your guys' favorite activities for play? Like dance, music, mastering a craft, art, etc.
I like water.
Yeah, you go to the beach a lot.
Yeah. Anything water related. Swimming. Surfing.
What is my favorite activity?
Jacuzzi party.
Favorite activity.
Yeah, what is your favorite activity?
I don't know what my favorite activity. If I had a favorite, I mean, for me, I work a lot, and I really enjoy working a lot, and I also really love good stories. So I watch more programming than I ever have in my life now because there's so many quality shows. Yeah,
Tiger
I mean,
King.
Tiger King's an
Tiger
exception.
King.
That's just like divine comedy. But there's so many good stories out there to tap into. There's so much creativity happening, and I look forward to expanding into making more of with this fledgling production company that we have here, making more programming and even maybe fictional programming. And I just love telling stories and hearing good stories. As you guys know from the podcast, I always ask for good, magical stories. Well, people are making more magical stories on, all these networks these days than they ever have, and it's so much more quality. So that's not exactly a physical activity, but it is a mental, like, okay, I'm going to unplug and go into story time, and it's much easier than reading a book and,
Totally.
Inner Essence and Christy, we see your questions and we'll get to them shortly.
Yeah, I mean, that it kind of works perfectly because you want to create, like, my favorite thing to do is be in creation mode. I love to be in the frequency of flow and creation. That's like my meditation. And so whether that's tribal marking or whether that's me doing a photo shoot or a video shoot or going out on a hike. Like, I like to hybridize a lot of my passion. So a lot of times it's being out in nature and creating and sharing in some sort of passion with somebody that I really care about or somebody that I connect to. Those are like my favorite things to do of all time.
Sweet.
Beautiful. Okay, Inner Essence wants to know, do you guys have daily morning routines or do you prefer to just go about days through spontaneous, inspired action?
Morning ritual is a must. That is a must for me.
Yeah, I like being in the middle. A little bit of both.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like, it's hard for me to just roll out of bed and then start my day. I'm typically a zombie in the morning or have been in the past. And so I had to develop this, like, morning ritual where I would basically gamify everything gratitude, affirmations, gratitude, affirmations, meditation, and exercise. Between those 4 things every morning, incorporating that into a morning ritual to really get myself aligned for everything I want to embody for the day. That's like a must for me. What about you guys?
For me, I am a lot of times I will roll out of bed, and once again, I'm excited about getting into all the things that I have to do. My work it's work, but it's also fun. So a lot of times I'll think about, like, do I want to go out on the balcony and do breath work and sit in the sunshine and meditate for a few minutes? And I'll be like, no, I want to get right to it, And then other days I will feel more like going slower and doing that. So I don't have, I really just flow with how I'm feeling in the day. But one thing's for sure is my definite ritual is starting my day with bulletproof coffee.
I really like a structured discipline, but at the same time I've found this good balance where I don't like guilt myself when, I kind of go with the flow too. Like I I don't have to hit it every day, but I like to have some kind of like reference structure to be productive and get the most out of my day. And I like to like wake up and first thing I'll do is just go cannonball in the freezing unheated pool, and that will get me going in the right direction, or go for a swim.
Bold.
That's a good.
But definitely it varies. But some kind of activity to get the blood flowing.
Awesome.
Definitely.
We have a few questions rolling in.
I have one that's
we see you guys'
waiting.
questions. We're gonna get to them.
Sammy Jean on Facebook asks,
Hey, Sammy Jean.
Sammy G. That's
what's
a cool name.
next after the Mystic Manor for you all?
Wow,
What
that's
do you
quite a
mean?
question.
Loaded question.
So life after the Mystic Manor? This place is a
Afterlife.
portal. It's a vortex. So that's a great question. I have no earthly idea.
Let's get the coronavirus first.
Yeah. Right now, it's honestly been very challenging with all of the retreats needing to be put on hold, at least temporarily, and so it's definitely challenging us to the hilt because this place is not cheap to maintain, and with a lot of travel related. My other business is even travel related, so it's really hit us hard as far as the aspect of financially speaking. So to think about what's after this is like we're really like doing our best to pivot and maintain so that we can keep creating all this powerful content out of these walls, and having people come here and experience firsthand. I mean, almost every retreat guest has a completely transformational experience. So our aim at this point is sort of, okay, we got to do everything we can to maintain this. So to think beyond it is, seems
I
far
will
removed.
share, though, a couple fun creative ideas that have been floating around for our stretch goals here at the Mystic Manor, one of which is a docu-series show that really outlines the retreats and goes into the transformation of what happens here, because there's so many incredibly unique people and characters every week that have come in and gone through this transformation, and as of now, we've seen over 17 different batches of retreat guests. 20 something, different batches of retreat guests come through, and it's always just such a beautiful journey for them. And so that's something we've been really excited to cultivate into a docu-series for you guys. And then also a second thing that I really want to share with what's past the Mystic Manor is more Mystic Manors.
Yep.
The big thing that is of
I'm
highest
excited for
excitement
Odyssey.
with all of us, is one, to master what we're doing here in Venice Beach, but also to expand to Mystic Manors and do one out in Bali or in Tulum or in Shasta
Galapagos.
or the Galapagos or wherever.
Rio just signed on.
Rio,
Whitney.
Vibe shaman.
Rio.
Yeah, I'm glad that you brought that up because, we have a whole plan to continue to duplicate what we're doing here elsewhere. And also a new show that actually documents the retreat guest journey and bringing in people who, for me, my highest excitement is how do I wake up as many people as possible on the planet? Well, who are the, most, what would be the greatest ripple of impact that I could have as far as who that is? Well, there's all these influencers now who have influence, right? So the idea is to start documenting the full retreat guest transformational journey and doing it with influencers, calling the show With Influence. And so that's something that we're actually talking right now about taking out and presenting to the networks like Netflix and Hulu and all, Amazon, etc., and seeing if we can get some support in creating a new show that is complementary to Optimystic.
I had a cool download and vision that we would have this same template that we have here, retreat style, and we would create orphanages. And they would get to eat super awesome clean vegan food and have different sessions.
Use us too.
So why not?
Some stuff to say.
Yeah, I have Chanel. Miss Chanel has asked a question of you guys. She'd really like some advice on health issues. I've been going to school for over a year, and I've developed a crazy case of eczema on my hands that's lasted over 5 months. I believe it's stress related because I eat a clean diet. Any advice?
Good question. I actually have dealt with eczema too. You can see it right here. If we zoom in, it's a little bit across my face. And one of the things that I just did was a 3-day water fast. And part of the reason I did that was with the aim of supposedly you reset your immune system completely after 3 days. So I did see it get a little better after that, I felt like. And so I think stress, is probably a big factor, and also diet. There's people out there who, there's a lot of information on what you should or shouldn't eat when it comes to eczema. It's pretty rigorous though, and I think it's one of those things that is, I think as you go through different cycles of your life, you'll probably see like, oh, that just cleared up as I sort of became less stressed out, or I almost think of it and feel like acne. I mean, when I was in high school, I had time of having acne, right? And now I don't, and it's like, so it feels like it. I tell the story that it's just a season, and that I will actually move through, and it will kind of clear up when the time is ultimately right.
Miss Chanel, I'm getting some advice for you from some other Instagram people. So, Chris said African black soap has helped me as well. Also purging old energy. Nice. And then Christy said Dr. Joe Dispenza and have really helped. Dr. Joe Dispenza's teaching has really helped her.
Cool. I love Dr. Joe.
All right.
Nice.
Thank you guys. I hope that helped Miss Janelle. I hope that helped your question. We have lots more rolling in. Interessence has a new question. She says, I'm new to the Mystic Manor. Could you please explain a little more about your guys' purpose, what types of events you guys have, and overall, how would you explain what your tribe/group is?
Wow.
Good question.
We're a cult.
Love cult.
Oh man.
Do you want to take that, or you want me to take it?
Yeah. I'll take it, and you can jump into it. So we are a tribe. We're a community. We're a home. We're a media company. And it's funny that you asked this, because we've been having a lot of meetings internally to really shift and understand what our why is, what our purpose is. And really, at the end of the day, we're a community that is really cultivating creativity and confidence in everybody. We're really trying to be and are embodying a lighthouse in a lot of ways. A lighthouse to really spread positivity, to spread joy, to spread the tools holistically and scientifically to really help everybody wake up the way that Brandon said, really. And by waking up, it's really finding the truth that is you. It's really embodying and being a lighthouse yourself. And so what kind of events do we do here? Before the quarantine, we would have we would have all sorts of interesting play shops and sensual awakenings and authentic relating, and we had a really cool one called Soul Jam that was run by our dear friend Nina, which was really cool.
Just signed on too.
What's up, Shaman Derek?
He said we love you all.
Love you too, Shaman Derek. Yeah, and so, a good amount of our time during the week is hosting workshops. We also have retreats, which we kind of just talked about. And then we also create content. And so between kind of those three umbrellas, we're really expressing all sorts of different magic and modalities and methods, and really coming back to the Be Your Magic concept. Yeah,
to answer that further, the Mystic Manor started out as a place to bring together not only in-person week-long retreats, but also to film the new show Optimystic. And so Optimystic, if you check out optimystic.tv, actually Durek, who just signed on, is episode 1 interviewee. He is next level shaman, and he shares so much magic in that episode.
He's so sweet. He said, "You are all leaders. I feel blessed."
Love you.
Coming from such a leader himself.
Yes.
And so my vision was to, I've done a podcast for almost 5 years called Positive Head, and then to expand that into a late night style variety talk show, and the Mystic Manor being the hub for that. So we film Optimistic here. We've just started releasing it a few weeks ago at optimistic.tv, and now and then of course doing retreats as well in person, and now we're doing virtual retreats with you guys.
Yeah, and what's also been beautiful too about having that show, having the show and having all the guests and having the entire house kind of working on creating that episode, all of the teachings of that episode are being absorbed by us as we're creating. And so we're in this process where we're creating the content, but we're also absorbing all of this information.
Right.
And so thank you, Shaman Derek, for all the wisdom. Your voice has been echoing in the house of the Mystic Manor.
For sure.
I have a comment here from Cooking with Rips. She said, would love to see some virtual sound bath healing. We actually had that this morning.
Yeah. Go onto our YouTube and look at this morning's live sound bath
Yeah,
that we
You
just
can
did with
also find
magic.
it on Facebook and on the Instagram.
Oh yeah, it's on
So
Facebook.
It was amazing.
Go back
I was
and
in
watch
there.
it and
Yeah.
tune in next Sunday, 8:30 a.m. to see it live.
Yeah.
The next one, yeah.
Oh, and Shaman Dirk says, "Wow, kisses with bunny ears." So sweet. Yes.
That's such a Shaman Dirk.
That is.
And Christy says in response to the sound bath, it was really good. Thank you for tuning in, Christy.
Yay.
And I have another question that was asked earlier. Before I get to it, Miss Chanel, who asked about the eczema, she was wondering, Chris, you're the one that shared about the black soap, and she wanted to know if you wanted to connect. Her Instagram is Miss Chanel 21. So if you wanted to connect with her and help her a little bit more. And then Chris asked another question. Where's a good place to start for everyone to take their passions and creative abilities and turn them into income?
Oh wow.
Wow,
You
you
guys
guys
are
have some
asking
really
some
good questions.
very
That's a good
relevant
one.
questions to the Mystic
Turn them
Manor.
into income. I would say first explore that for yourself. You know, if you're doing it immediately for income,
Yep.
it's not quite going to be in alignment. I mean, I feel like when you're truly following your highest excitement and you're just getting lost in whatever that passion is,
Yeah.
the income will be a byproduct of what that is.
Right.
The infrastructure will find itself. Life finds a way through that process. And so when you're just first exploring a passion, explore it for the purity of your joy.
Yep.
And really allow yourself to be a child again. Really get into that frequency of being a kid, like a kid that's like found some really cool toy, right? And then you can just get obsessed with that.
Yeah.
Welcome to the other lives.
I fully agree with that. Is just first knowing that you are worthy of doing what is your creative passion as a means to supporting yourself. Now, Rome wasn't built in a day. It's not necessarily going to go, I have an idea today and tomorrow it's going to pay all my bills for me, right? There's going to be a process to your unfolding. But first realizing that it is you're so worthy. If anyone's ever been worthy to do their creative passion and support themselves, you are, right? And so, but starting down that path first is doing it, as Everett talked about, from a state of joy and love, and just knowing, being excited about the inevitability of it manifesting in a way that you will be able to ultimately support yourself. But the journey is the goal, and so you don't need to, need it to happen immediately. You can be excited and joyous about it today, knowing that it inevitably will unfold in
Yeah,
Yes,
because
Shaman Jerk says it's now about service, then find a playful passion and
Right.
share.
absolutely.
Exactly. If you
Absolutely.
want to find yourself, lose yourself in the service of others. Gandhi said.
Yeah.
And-
And Christy actually shared, and her Instagram is See Joy Vibrancy. I'm a Reiki master. I do free donation base because my mission is to just heal. Thanks for reconfirming this. This resonates so deep. Prayer hands. Just flowing with your passion and trusting the universe to provide.
Yay.
And it will provide in ways you can't even
Exactly.
imagine.
And then Shaman Jerk
Absolutely.
followed up with money is generated when freedom is truly expressed.
Yes.
Woo!
Yes.
You
Guys,
gotta pull
these are-
Dirk into one of these.
Yeah.
Dirk.
Seriously.
On a Zoom call.
So
Yeah,
awesome,
we can
you
share
guys.
screens.
Probably do that.
Oh,
Yeah.
I forgot.
Do you have any questions over there, Mira? I have a couple that have been waiting here on Instagram.
I have one, but I think those ones came first.
Okay, so Inner Essence wanted to know, first of all, really curious what all of your guys' zodiac signs are. And at
Who
the
wants to
end-
guess?
And at the end, she would love if you guys would share your individual Instagram so that people can connect with you individually.
Cool.
Yay.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, does anyone want to guess? What do you think their signs are? We have
What am I?
Everett, Ian, and Brandon. What are their signs?
Guess.
Anyone wanna guess?
Come on, someone's got to guess.
I
smell a
Good smell.
Nice.
I am definitely a Leo.
I'm a Leo rising.
And an Aries. Do we have an Aries?
We don't have an Aries.
No Aries.
Aries.
No Aries in here.
A Sag?
Sag moon.
Nope.
We got the Leo on point. And there's a a Libra. I'm a Libra.
Sensing Karen's vibes.
Yes, that's me
Off
over
screen.
here.
Mm.
And we see in Ever Promise, we see your question. We'll get to it shortly as well.
Cool. But to answer the question,
Shaman Dirk.
Shaman Dirk thinks there's a Cancer here.
My mom's Cancer.
I'm a Gemini.
I'm a Taurus, baby bull.
Woo! Gemini, Taurus, and Brandon is a Leo, not a Cancer.
And I have a really fun birthday story
Gemini.
that would take 15 minutes to explain.
Oh,
If you ever got 15 minutes of synchronicity.
Maybe go follow him on his private Instagram.
Yeah.
Gemini.
Oh yeah.
Gemini.
Private Instagram is Optimystic with a 0 as the first letter for me.
I'm Ian Trees, EANTREES.
Yeah, follow me, guys. ev.thecreator. That's ev.thecreator.
Ooh.
Follow me, and you can also see all the fun work and all the other creative things that I do as well.
Yes. Ooh, I like Chris followed up and said at some point we realized we are all the signs.
Aww.
I love that.
Yes.
Tammy Jean says, Taurus, go Ians.
Yay.
Got Ian's.
Go
Got-
Ians.
got Ians.
That's awesome.
Beautiful. I have a really great, interesting question over here from Inever Promised. How do you integrate your destructive tendencies?
Ooh.
Whoa.
Wow.
And how do you deal with attachment? These are loaded questions.
Wow.
Woo.
These are woo.
Woo.
Juice.
Take a moment.
Try and sum that up in really quick. Yeah, we could go. That's like a whole
That's deep.
topic. That's
Yeah.
a whole
Let's try
topic
to be as
to go
quick as
into. But yeah,
possible, 'cause we have
we'll
a
go
lot
in
of
quickly.
Yeah.
How to transmute destruction, right? And let go of attachment. That's the question.
Yes.
Love is the answer, like always.
Yeah. For me, if I do something that is maybe I can, from one perspective, see it's not in my highest and best interest, and maybe there's some self-sabotage energy or doing something that from one perspective is not the healthiest thing to do, I instantly seek to love myself there and say, okay, I can observe this in myself, and instead of resisting it and judging myself as like, oh God, Brandon, you idiot, you shouldn't be doing this, I'll say, okay, you're doing this thing. I can observe that there's some maybe not in my highest and best from one perspective, and it's happening for some reason. I'm experiencing it and moving through it for some reason. I'm going to love myself here, and every moment is another chance to turn it all around. I don't need to beat myself up for what I have or haven't done. Every moment I'm born anew completely with every breath.
Yes.
So what can I do from this moment forward to do a course correction? And I think that's important. A lot of times people beat themselves up for what they have or haven't done, and that really holds you stuck and in place.
We're also getting a lot of advice over from our Instagram community.
Yay.
Shaman Dirk said something that's relevant. He said,
You need to bring
of
it
course,
on, Derek.
let me get back to it.
Calm back up.
No mission creates obligation and stress to meet the mission.
Beautiful.
I'm gonna have to think about that one. That's deep. And then we also had, and Shaman Dirk followed up said, having a mission creates a psychological response to obligations and demands we must live to express freely and an alignment of joy. This will surely guide you to where you want to be.
Bam.
Beautiful.
And by the way, guys,
I
if
love
you
it.
want to get more Shaman Derek's wisdom,
Episode 1.
check out episode 1 of Optimystic on optimystic.tv,
Link in our
and
bio.
his Instagram. I believe it's just his name, Shaman Derek.
Yep.
He shares so much. His Ancient Wisdom Today podcasts, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, the guy is amazing.
Yeah.
And more advice from Sparkly Sarah. She said,
Sparkly
what you
Sarah.
can do is love what arises.
Yes.
Yeah, what
Yes.
I
Matt
love
Con's
is love
Got it.
that.
She said, loved your Matt Con interview. That's another shout out from one of our recent episodes, which you can see at optimistic.tv.
Yeah. Matt
Nice.
Con is an alien, he is such an alien. As Bradley, my son, puts it, he's the spiritual Jack Black.
I said the same thing.
He totally is. It's so good.
Yeah, and then Chris has some more advice. The darkest parts are often bring the brightest light once attention and understanding is given.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Yeah, love that dark side of you.
Yeah.
The deeper the roots, the higher the branches.
Yes. Oh, we got a lot of reactions. People are getting chills, hearts, sending in 100 emojis. Shaman Dirk says so sweet.
Spirit hacking is
And-
my 2020 survival guide.
Yes, Sparkly Sarah says Spirit hacking is my 2020 survival guide. Thank you, Shaman Durek.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Check
That's
out
a
his
good
book, Spirit
review.
Hacking. It's so good.
2020
So
survival
good.
guide, thrival guide. Actually.
Actually,
Yes,
speaking
survival
of
guide.
the person who asked what we do here, we did.
Bye, Shaman Durek. Thank
bye,
you so
Durek.
much for tuning in. We appreciate you.
Bye!
Yeah, we actually did Derek's book release party here. And that was
Yeah.
an epic gathering. So
So
for the
epic.
question earlier, what happens here, that was one of the things for Spirit Hacking.
All right, I have a question from Paisley Rose.
Mm-hmm.
She says, I bring mindfulness and compassionate communication as a counselor with individuals and couples. It's very impactful, but I often feel a strong need to bring the wisdom to a wider audience. Ideas.
Wow.
I am going through that same thing right now, going through that growth edge of like, wow, there's so much that's coming through me of knowledge and information and gifts. I just really want to share that. So you are such a beautiful reflection for me for asking that. And I would say just surrender to it, grow on stage.
Grow on stage.
Grow
That's
on
really
stage.
it. Find a way. Right now, what's great about technology today is, Paisley, you could go today and start offering whatever wisdom you have to share to a wider audience. And if it's just us that tune in, you've expanded, right?
Exactly.
So, a lot of times people get caught up with like, oh my God, if I do this, I've got to have, like Matt Kahn yesterday, 50,000 people tuned into his broadcast.
Right.
He didn't start that from, I guarantee you, broadcast number 1, there wasn't 50,000 people there.
Exactly.
So growing on stage, like Everett said, there's enough room for all of us. There's medicine that you have that can only be received from you to someone else that maybe they wouldn't receive it the same way from me, because we all have our own unique vibrational signature. So I would I would recommend just finding a way to get out there, put yourself out there and do it.
Yeah. And another theme too that's been kind of floating around the house is if you're feeling it, chances are someone else is feeling that too. So by you really feeling the call and being bold and vulnerable by putting yourself out there and sharing that, chances are somebody else who's synchronistically aligned is going to resonate with that. And so just by you stepping up and stepping out and bringing that topic forth is going to help other people and also give them permission to really share what they want to share and feel what they want to feel.
What you seek is seeking you.
Paisley Rose says, I love that. Grow on stage. And Grayan Walsh says, big love and virtual hugs listening in Ireland.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then we have Ashley Estrella says, I miss you guys.
Oh, hey, Ashley.
What's
And
up?
she
Miss you too.
asks, how do you guys stay positive and focus in the present moment with the way life is right now?
I know that it's happening for me, not to me. It's really as simple as saying, where is the silver lining? What is the good things that's coming from all of this? Does it look messy for a caterpillar when it's in the chrysalis and it's literally melting down in a goo to reform into a butterfly? At one point, depending on when you zoom in, it can look really, really ugly. Just when the caterpillar thinks its life has come to an end, it becomes a butterfly. That's what society is doing right now. This isn't happening because things are so bad. This is happening because transformation is upon us.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Let's focus on that, and then we get to take the journey, even though it may be challenging, in the most graceful and ease-filled way.
Yeah, and even though times are difficult, like we have the opportunity to choose how we perceive everything that's happening. And so for me, a cool little hack is I like to gamify everything. So I look at what's happening almost like a game, like, okay, we're about to level up. We're in that moment in the video game where we're about to like go through this really new, this new section or like this different boss or whatever. And that for me just kind of helps to look at life in a way that's a little bit lighter and a little bit more fun, which actually helps me to rise to the challenge in a way with less pressure.
All right, you guys, we got about 20 more minutes, and I have a lot of questions rolling in, so we're gonna try to get to all of them.
Yay.
One person asked, what are your individual field of knowledge and interests? Just like maybe like a 1-2.
Ian, you want to go
answer.
first?
Yes. I like to give the gift of food, and I in a very health-centered and focused way. I don't want you to only have like an awesome, yummy experience, but I want you to feel really good when I'm done cooking for you. So that's my service
Good at that.
calling.
Very good at that. He's the house chef. He keeps us all healthy and away from too much bread around here.
Ian is such a genius. He's such an artist. Such an artist.
All right, then Everett and Brandon, if you could say in 2 words your main areas of interest.
Oh my god.
No, do it.
2 words. Creative culture, leadership,
Like
flow
it.
state, alchemy.
Hey,
Good.
that's not 2 words.
That's good. No,
I am
Two phrases.
a rememberer, re-memberer, and reminderer. I like to help people shift their perspectives to create more magic in their lives and remember who and what they actually are. One with the source that creates and animates all things.
I love that. Fueled by Flowers says, any advice on making a career change that aligns more with personal spiritual missions? Not a manifestation question, but rather creativity/process advice.
Really, really quick.
Retreats.
Ashley says Ian is the best at that, and Paisley Rose says Ian is such a talented artistic chef.
Yes.
Check me out on the internet. Let's
Yeah,
be friends.
when you guys can actually come back and travel to California again, we do week-long retreats here. You can learn more once again at optimistic.tv under the Mystic Manor section, and come stay for a week and get Ian's food 3 days, 7 days a week, or 7 days, 6 days, 6 days, 7 nights, and he prepares breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And
we've had so many
super
people
epic.
come on the retreats that have been in that transition of trying to align their spiritual path with their career. And not to say that you need to quit your job, but we've had people come on the retreats and quit their job and just have huge shifts. So
Yep.
I think that's a great way to respond to your question is, consider a retreat or a trip, go out
Shake it up.
solitude and listen to yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Shake it up a little bit. Do something different. Do something that's in line with that work. Let's say you want to start connecting and teaching, perhaps. It doesn't mean you got to start a podcast tomorrow, but maybe you can go down to the local coffee shop and say, okay, universe, open me up. Bring me a person that I can connect with and talk to and sharpen my axe on and practice with. And you'll be surprised once you open yourself up in that way and you get out of your normal routine, you create the opportunity for shifts to start to happen.
Yeah, the thing that comes up for me is just give the gift of your service, give the gift of your presence by showing up and just volunteering or gifting somebody something within that realm of something you want to create or something you want to get further into. Example for that for me was I really wanted to, when I went to Sedona and I wanted to take some photos of spirit hoods, and I just gifted that. I gifted that to that brand. I hit up the owner and was like, hey, I really like your spirit hoods. I really like your product. I'd love to just shoot that. And I did that. I gifted that entire photo shoot to them, and now I'm a creative ambassador for them.
He's got about 10 spirit hoods in his room. It's very furry in there.
Yeah.
Can I ask my second question?
Yes. What's your second question?
So obviously we could jump deep down the rabbit hole and think of this like huge future structure of government, but in a more like practical near-term way, what is a way that our current political system could promote more creativity so that everyone can better express themselves?
Love that.
I think first and foremost, just getting into a more abundant mindset and heart set overall. Like kind of what was happening is so many people, I feel like, were in the rat race or in the grind of having to make money to make money, to be stable, to da-da-da-da, right? Like a lot of our energy just as a collective was shifted towards surviving and supporting things versus having this open, abundant mindset of creation. And so I think just shifting into a more abundant mindset overall would really help to get everyone in a more creative mindset, because we'll have more space. We'll feel like we have more space and more time and more freedom to focus on the things we love in life.
Yeah, what I find with when you start getting into government or politics or things like that, that always sort of comes up for me is we have these imaginary lines in the sand of separation when really we're like one species. We're one. It's humanity, and all these imaginary lines in the sand are eventually going to go away. 1,000 years from now, they'll look back and be like, "Wow, remember when we like acted like my country's health is more important than your country's health," and we had all these imaginary lines. So I think there's going to be a big breakdown of our current system, and I think part of that is what you're seeing now. And it doesn't mean it's going to be really easy, but necessary for us to come back together and realize, hold on, what's good for you is good for me because you're an extension of me, and there's only one of us on planet Earth ultimately.
Love that.
Awesome. I love that. I have a really fun question from Chris. He wants to know, what are your spirit animals?
Ooh.
Baby sloth.
For me, it's a tiger.
Woo,
And
Tiger King.
and a snake. Yeah, the rattlesnake as of late has been really big. That's been popping up for me a lot. Which is why
Did I tell you I
have
saw one out on our
snake
hike with the retreat guests a few weeks ago?
Did you really?
Yeah.
When I went to the Navajo Nation and had my self ceremony, my solo ceremony big like rattlesnake spirit. Like
wow. Yeah. I would say
that's the story.
I'm a Leo in Western astrology and a Tiger in Eastern, so maybe a liger.
You're totally a liger.
You're totally a liger. That's hilarious. This is a great question, Brandon. I think you'll like this one. Suggestions for soothing and empowering your inner child.
Ooh. Play. You came here to, the one Bible verse that I quote all the time is, lest you become like a child, you can't enter the kingdom of heaven. And so it's super important that you get into that playful state and you're nurturing that inner child. And that inner child is actually the wise one. That is teaching us how to enter heaven on earth. Yeah. And if you've gotten really serious and you've gotten too serious about enlightenment, look at the word. Lighten up, right? Get silly, get playful. That is the path. And so to nurture the inner child is have fun and be playful. That is the path. Yeah. Feed what the child needs and wants.
And a cool life hack too to feed that inner child that I've experimented with is bring back like old things from your past, from your childhood that you really love to do. So like for me, like an old toy was like Legos. And so I had some like random binge and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go online and buy some Legos, and I like bought Legos.
Yes.
And as an adult, I was able to just play and be in that physical space again. And just by physically being in that space, energetically, all of those emotions started to recall. And so like I was able to tap into my 5-year-old self, my 6-year-old self, because I was physically doing what I was doing back then.
Wow.
So it's a really great body recall to anchor in that energy of being your inner child.
Yeah.
Fun life hack.
Durek, actually, who was on earlier, Shaman Durek, he talks about this on episode 1 of Optimystic, where he still plays with action figures and video games, and he's very much in his inner child, and his life is a lot of play. I mean, and same with us. We're doing so much play. I look around and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm such a big kid, and I've chosen that life by continuing to nurture the inner child.
Melinda Lee on Facebook says, I keep seeing 444. Does this have any meaning to what's currently happening?
Ooh, yes.
Well. It's upside down. But.
Yeah, so 444 has been a big synchronicity for Mia, for me. I actually think if you go to the Positive Head podcast, positivehead.com, I do a whole episode on 444, some magic that unfolded for me years back. And actually with Tyler, who made this magic wand. What do you know? Speaking of being playful and childlike, he makes things like this, like the grown-ass man that made that magic wand.
And yesterday was 444.
And yesterday was 444. So yes, there is, one of the things that my friend Chris always talks about, if you see certain numbers over and over, go just search that number or that series of numbers and angel numbers afterwards on Google, and you'll start getting messages about what it means for you.
Beautiful. I love that. All right, let's see. I know we had some more questions. Oh, Chris, in response to the spirit animals, said, I'm from Arizona and I've always seen rattlesnakes and Gila monsters. Ooh. Don't mess with them. They don't mess with you if you don't mess with them.
Yeah.
Can you relate to that, Everett?
Yes. And and what's interesting about the rattlesnake in particular is like snakes have always really, really freaked me out. And they always, they're just kind of like, I can't predict what they're going to do. And I was saying that to someone and a good friend, and she was like, a lot of times that's a reflection of the part inside of you that you're most afraid of. That be a really powerful, great part. And so I was like, whoa, okay. I can kind of accept and love the things that really scare me. So yeah, I just wanted to add that.
I love that. Julie asked, how long have y'all known each other in this incarnation or previous?
How long have we known each other?
Everett, 3.5,
speaking of incarnations, Everett has my baby mama, his birthday, and also the same destiny card as her, of course, because they're on the same birthday, and the same destiny card as my brother. So there's definitely
Brendan and I have been doing this dance for a long time, for lifetimes.
And Ian,
about a year.
No, I've known you more than a year. I've known you at least. We've been here almost a year. It's been more like 3 years, probably.
Okay, yeah.
3 years?
Well, I mean, I've known you for a lot longer than you've known me.
Right. He listened to the Positive Head podcast for a while before we actually met.
Wow. Okay, I have first Chris, who's been logged on, is logging off. So say bye, Chris.
See you, Chris.
Bye, Chris.
And then I have a question from Anna about loss. I'm just scrolling back up so I can grab it. Give me one moment. Okay, how do you cope with a loss? Like, yes, it's hard, but how do you really, truly try to move on? Because it's honestly eating me up alive. And Anna shared with us on a previous live stream that I believe it was her best friend passed away, and she's a senior in high school. So this is really fresh for her, and she's really
I'd love to take this one. Anna, one of the things that really helps me to deal with the idea of loss, and you've got to understand, it's like Matt Kahn talks in the most recent episode, you're going to lose everything. And what you're going to find at the end of the lost story is you actually then regain it. You find it again. You actually can only pretend to lose something, but when you get to the other side, you'll see you have it all. It's eternally your friend is with you. So we're going to take breaks from each other, and thank goodness. Think if you were stuck with your best friend in the same room for eternity together. You'd want to pull each other's hair out, right? But have the experience of missing them and then coming back together again. So that's the game and the dance you play throughout eternity, right? And so when you understand nothing is permanently lost, she is permanently a part of you, this friend. And I know the sting is there, but the sting can be softened when you understand in the end, you're going to laugh at the illusion of separation, because that's actually all that it is. And the separation is actually a gift, because if you were stuck in the same room for eternity, you would not appreciate. You need the contrast to appreciate actually when you do come back together again. So in the end, you can't lose anyone or anything. And this is the dance that your soul has done time and time again. It will do time and time continue. It's the way that the soul experiences. So, being as graceful about it as possible and understanding the truth of the situation, I believe helps to take the sting away.
Beautiful. Anna says right.
She is with you.
This is a good way of looking at it. Thank you. Teary eyes.
Aww. Not only is it a good way, it's your soul. I can't tell you anything your soul doesn't already know. It's a matter of remembering what you've forgotten. So taking this perspective and adopting it and applying it to your life is going to make it smoother and easier to transition, because you're going to continue to lose, and then you're going to continue to. And let me add to it, whatever you lose in one way, source, higher self, the universe can bring about in a myriad of ways. In relationships, we often think about this. Oh my gosh, I've lost this relationship. It's over. We broke up. I can never have that again. That's the exact opposite of what the truth is. Now, if you believe that, then you create it because you are the creator. But if you tell the story like I do, that whatever I lose comes back around in another form, and even a better version for me at that time, right? So you can never run out of the ways source can bring you the energy of the person that you quote unquote pretended to lose, because it's infinite in what its abundance and its ability to bring that same energy that you missed from your friend around in another way. And actually your friend is a part of that new energy that comes in, because it's all one.
Beautiful. I just want to do a time check for you guys. You guys have about 6 more minutes left. So if there's any last minute questions that want to roll in, or if you guys want to just start wrapping it up and share a little bit more about what we're doing here and about our play shops.
Yeah. Why don't we start wrapping it up a little bit? Do you want to give them the breakdown, Everett?
Yeah, I'll give them the breakdown.
Or I can. Either way.
Or you can just jump. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, so we, once again, if you guys are just joining, we here at the Mystic Manor, there's about 15 of us quarantined here. We've been shooting the new late night style consciousness elevating variety talk show Optimystic. We've just started releasing them. Everett and myself are the co-creators, but a lot of people supporting here to make it happen. You can check out optimistic.tv, see those episodes we've just started releasing. Also the Positive Head podcast I've been doing for about 5 years. This space we've been doing retreats in person with guests. For now, we're moving that to an online vehicle, the Mystic Manor online retreat and play shops membership program, and that's what this is a part of. This is giving it away for free at first. We're doing workshops every day, 7 days a week at 8:30 Pacific time a.m. and 5 p.m. Pacific time. Different workshops: sound healing, breath work, Q&As, Central Awakening, tarot readings. I mean, we have so many facilitators here. Cooking with Ian. So, yoga, you name it. We're doing all these things. So if you guys want to link into that, definitely go to optimistic.tv and sign up. Where you see online play shops, sign up and you can get it for free initially. And we'd love to continue to co-create and use this time to make lemonade out of lemons, right? Being quarantined, and to use this time to create this online retreat platform and really reach and create and connect with more and more of you guys.
I have one more question that rolled in. Danny wants to know, what do you guys all think about mushrooms?
Well,
question.
You should have asked us last Sunday when everyone was on them here.
Mushrooms are great.
I think they're a great tool. Like anything, you don't need it, but it certainly is a great tool when, for the right person at the right time, to expand and take down the veil of separation between this dimension and the next. That's what I believe.
Mm-hmm. And we eat mushrooms like 4 days a week here.
Mm-hmm.
But only psilocybin ones sometimes.
Let's see, and I have one more question from Ellen Holistics. On that vibe, what if there is something that still hasn't come around for like 5 years? Is that something you will find in someone else or something to find within?
Yeah, just realizing that you don't need anything that's external of you. So if it hasn't come around in the form of external, it's because it's not what you most need at this time. So your job is to, whatever is there, to embrace it and know that it's inevitable that it comes around again if it's something you seek, but you don't need it to be fulfilled or satisfied. Because when you need something to be fulfilled or you think you do, you push it away, right? Whatever I need, you tell the universe as a creator, I'm having the experience of needing it, which means it's not there, right? So when you accept it's going to come inevitably and I'm going to relax and enjoy the beauty of what is in the meantime, now you open up a space to allow it back in.
Right. And that thing that you're seeking externally, it's you're putting a thing or something tangible on it, but really it's a feeling. It's a feeling that thing or whatever is going to give to you. And so that's something you can always create internally. That's something you can always have and carry with you inside of yourself. And, for me, a big thing was, I was seeking epic love at one point, right? I want epic love. Where is my epic love? She's out there somewhere, right? And then I'm like, wait. I need to embody and be epic love. If I could just embody and be epic love, I will always have that frequency with myself, and I will then be a magnet for that, to attract that into my life. And so it's really about, having it now and being able to embody that energy and that frequency.
I love that. You guys, Magical Amanda's on. Hi,
What's up, Amanda?
Hi, Amanda. That was great. And so in response to that, the person that asked the question
2 minutes left.
2 minutes left. This person is so fun. I just have loads of fun with this person, and I'm fun, but they're madly fun. But I totally see this. So I think they listen to your
fun
advice.
is your birthright, and the universe can bring you fun in so many ways your head will spin.
Yeah, he said,
relax
harnessing it all within, but it seems so hard to have that much fun as with another within.
You haven't even warmed up to the fun that's
Beautiful.
possible.
Okay, we gotta sign off because Instagram's gonna kick us off. But Amanda wants to know really quick, what's each of your favorite colors?
Go!
Purple!
Go quick!
Blue!
Favorite color?
Quick!
I like maroon.
Maroon, blue. One more left. Ian, did you say your favorite color? Purple.
Like a dark purple.
I like dark purple.
Alright, we love you guys. Thank you so much for
Love
spending
you
time.
guys.
Go to Optimistic.tv and you can continue to connect and co-create magic with us. We love you.
Bye, friends. Love
Bye,
you.
everybody.
Abracadabra, you are magic.